Hello everybody, it's Saturday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil didn't see a shadow, which means we get an early spring. No more 6 weeks, no extra 6 weeks of winter. Thank God. Although we've had a pretty nice winter this winter, I have to say that. What I wanted to talk about in this video today was, especially for those of you that saw my last video where I talked about this old Dell that was brought in to the shop for some general checkout work, is I wanted to talk about why it's not really a good idea to hang on to old computers. And I'm going to go up a little closer here, and especially for those of you that are familiar with these vintage Dells, you can tell this is a really old Dell. I don't know what the date of manufacture on this is, but I'm not going to turn it over on its side to find out, because this thing is just, these things are really heavy cases and they're really kind of tough to move around and turn over. But there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't hang on to these things, and I'm going to go over them now because some of them, well, all of them are really important. The first one is because the version of Windows is very out of date. This is Windows XP, and Windows XP is past what Microsoft calls its end of life. And the end of life date, which I believe was April 8th, 2014 for XP, I could be wrong. The end of life date is the last day you can get Windows updates for a particular version of Windows. And the Windows updates are very important because those are how you get your security patches. Those of you that have followed this channel a lot know that I have talked about an event called Patch Tuesday a lot of times, and Patch Tuesday is when Microsoft releases all the security patches that they've discovered over last month to the general public, and they put them on the Windows Update servers, and at that point people can grab them. End of life operating system updates, you don't get them anymore unless you pay big money. And as an example, the US government, believe it or not, paid Microsoft a lot of money, and I believe it's well into the 5 and maybe 6 figures, so that they would put out Windows updates for Windows XP. And the reason they did this is because they have ancient software that they knew would not run on Windows 7. So the US government approached Microsoft and they got a special deal. But like I said, it's expensive, and Joe Blow can't get those kinds of deals. Having Windows run unpatched is not really and truly a good idea, because there's security vulnerabilities that are being released that will still work on Windows XP. And if you're not patched against those vulnerabilities, your system is going to get hacked. Reason number 2 not to run a machine of this vintage is because the hard drives, this machine has 2 hard drives. I don't even know why the second one's in here, as it's really not being used. But the hard drive in computers of this vintage is really at risk of failure. And again, those of you that follow this channel know that I've talked about hard drives before and how they can fail. Hard drives are only reliable for 3 years max, and then they enter what I call the red zone. And once your hard drive enters the red zone, it could fail 30 days from now, or it could fail in another 3 years from now. Unfortunately, one tool I do not have is a crystal ball. I can't tell you when your hard drive is going to fail. Once these hard drives fail, you can have some real issues getting Windows back onto these machines, because Windows XP is no longer available. And you can't put Windows 7 on something like this because it won't run really good. And to be honest, Windows 7 is approaching its end of life anyway. I believe it's going to be April of 2023, and that'll be the end of the road for Windows 7. Another reason not to run a machine of this vintage is you can't get antivirus software for it anymore. Machines that are this old, especially machines that have Windows XP on them, the antivirus companies aren't supporting them anymore. And you can't get the updates for your antivirus, and you can't get neither the definition or the engine updates. The engine is the actual antivirus program, for those of you that don't know. You can't get those anymore. Again, this makes your system vulnerable to getting attacked. Not a good thing. Another reason not to run machines of this vintage is you can't get modern web browsers for them anymore. Which not only can that make your machine vulnerable to getting attacked again, but it can also cause you a lot of trouble just surfing to regular old websites. The standards that we use to create web pages, known as hypertext markup language or HTML, are changing big time. And we're getting away from things like Java and Adobe Flash Player, because those types of technologies, which we call plugin based, it's been a proven fact that those technologies have security holes. It's like Swiss cheese, and some of the holes are so big you can drive a Mack truck through them. So what we're doing now, as far as the web world is concerned, is we're coming out with some new standards, or a new standard called HTML5. The problem is, a lot of these old browsers cannot properly display HTML5, and you can't update the browser because the version of Windows is too old. And what winds up happening as a result of that is you cannot display web pages properly anymore. Some web pages will load partially, and some web pages just won't load at all. So those are the reasons not to run a machine of this vintage. And if anybody has any questions on computer replacement, please feel free to contact me. Contact information is always at the beginning of these videos. I also want to give a bit of a shout out to a fellow YouTuber that I watch all the time, Adam Booth of Booth Machine Shop in Pensacola, Florida. YouTube username ABOM79. If you're looking for him, just type ABOM79, ABOM, into the search box on YouTube, and you'll find his channel. He just took the plunge and went back working for himself, which he used to do. He used to work with his father. They ran Booth Machine Shop. And then he went to work for another company, and he just took the plunge this last week or so, going back into business for himself and restarting Booth Machine Shop. Good for him. I wish him the best of luck. And actually, I just got through watching Saturday Night Special, and this kind of gave me the idea to quickly shoot this video on this old Dell. So thanks a lot, Adam. And I'll make sure to put ABOM79 in the search tags on this video so people can find him really easy when this video uploads. As always, rate, comment, like, subscribe. I will see everyone soon. And the best way to find my videos is to subscribe and hit the notification bell on the top right hand side of the YouTube window. Most of you probably know where it is. And I will see everyone next time. Have a great weekend. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.